Sure. This is our video about our about Leymah. I don't even know how to say it. Gebowee, Gebowee.
Yeah.
Her TED talk about women and equal roles in women, and specifically, I think it was mostly focused on helping them have an education, like they're all in a bad situation, and they all just have the desire to go to school, but helping those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean that first part, what she had talked about was, um, she shared all these different stories of saying these women are in these, or these girls, especially young girls, are in these bad situations, and that the wish of these girls every time was they wanted to be educated. That was the solution for them to be able to get out of the rut they were in, was to have education.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything they said's exactly spot on. The one image that stuck in my head that she talked about is that in the streets of Liberia, she said condoms lay the floor just as chewing gum does in other countries. So just that's something that's ridiculous that should never happen in any single country. But that's what these girls are faced with. She mentions that these girls are stuck with vices. They're trapped in a vice and can't get out, but they're still asking for education. They want to do well and they want to be educated. They want to go to school. So her main question she's asking is, what can we do to get these girls to school? And she started talking about like girls are going, they're excelling. Like a girl excelled in athletics. And she made her way into college, got scholarships and everything paid for. But then there's still things that happen with that. But at least these girls are finding ways to do it, but they can't just do it themselves. They need our help as well.
Yeah, I think that's. I think the key to the whole thing is she's saying that all the millennial goals, like the HIV, reducing HIV and AIDS, and I mean that all plays into if we focus on education. I mean, a lot of we'll see benefits in all the other different areas. I think.
I think that's really what she was trying to focus in on, was that education really is that answer. And what it kind of sounded like, as far as when she was asked the question a few days before the talk, where is the hope? And she talked about the hope of people, some of these women's different stories, and what they said was that their wish was either they had education or that others would have education. And so I think that's another big part of coming up with the solution, is not even so much of just individually getting people education, but banding together to help others get education. And I feel like that was a really big part of what she was talking about, was trying to band together, not even just women in her country alone and in Africa, but to get those from the United States involved as well.
Yeah. She started off that talk with instances where she was she was there to help these girls, and then they're like, "Can I come with you?" And she said she was living with her parents. She couldn't afford to have somebody support another person. But I think that's maybe where she was going with that, is that now that it is a cooperative. It's something that we need to do together, that we can solve the problem. It's not something that's just individually based.
But this is something I like, that this banding together. And in my country that I've been adopted into, in East Timor, this is something I've seen that they've done. In the country now, girls are actually the ones that are percentage-wise finishing school more often and going into higher education. It's maybe by like 2% or so, but the fact that they're there and they're leading the boys in all this, and the enrollment even in primary school, shows that in some of these countries that this is happening. That people are making sure these kids are getting to school, and especially that these girls are being there and being treated equal, just as everyone else should be.
In my country, the country I was adopted into was Kazakhstan, and I know as far as the work of trying to make equality through gender equality and empowerment of women. Education is doing pretty well as far as getting women educated, but two of the problems that are still, very much an issue are women aren't well represented in politics, and there's still quite a bit of violence towards women. And what Kazakhstan is doing to try to help that, at least with the violence, is they've got more and more crisis centers that they're trying to have open to these women, and several of them are just for women and children. Some of them are for all types that come in from violence, but there are several that are just women and children.
My country in Laos, they're doing really. It's about equal. They have about as many boys and girls enroll and about finish college, or a secondary and third degree, or colleges, whatever. So it's about equal, but there's definitely, from what I understand, a social restraint. Like, it's definitely gender specific. Like, they definitely have gender roles in Laos that I think hold them back maybe still. I think definitely that affects them in maybe political or not representative.
So I think as far as just kind of in closing, she was asked by the guy that came up afterwards, what was the main problem. And she said one of the main problems is she goes into these towns and these women and these girls who are smart, their dreams just remain dreams, and they really feel like there's no hope. And so I think, like we've talked about before, what she really sees, and I think we can agree with her, as being the main way to solve these issues is to band together globally to fix them.
Yeah. All right.